Hello, I'm Pamela Davis. Welcome to episode 118 of the Well Done Life podcast. Hello, and welcome back to episode 118 of the Well Done Life podcast. I'm your host, Pamela Davis. If you are new here, hey, how are you? Welcome. I am so glad that you're here with us this week. If you've been here before, you guys know the deal. I love you deep. Thank you so much for coming back and continuing to support. I really appreciate you. Before we get started with this week's episode, I like to make sure that we set the foundation. I want to make sure that you understand that in this space we are creating of safety and love and support and encouragement, this is built on two really important foundations, and that's going to be clarity and love. Clarity is really straightforward. I just want to make sure that you understand that this podcast, The Well Done Life, is a space for women. I created this space for us because I want women to feel safe sharing their stories, the good, the bad, the ugly, and I want us to have an opportunity where we can learn and grow together. So that's what this space is all about. And then my other favorite thing that we are building this on is love. Love is one of the most important things. It actually is the thing. And everything that we do in this space is going to be rooted in love. So I like to make sure that we talk about that foundation and that I send you prayers every week so that you know that you are loved and thought of. So this week, I want to send you prayers of peace. I want to send you prayers of love. Like I said, love is one of my favorite things. It is the thing. So I want you to feel love from the top of your head to the bottom of your feet. I also want to send you prayers of encouragement. You know, the year is going by. A lot of us are going through many different things. I want you to know that it is still all possible and it will occur. You just have to believe in yourself. I am believing and praying with you. And I want to send you prayers of health, mental and physical, because it is so important to be in balance. It is so important to take time for yourself, to take time for your thoughts, to just feel and to make sure that you are prioritizing your health, because the panini is still wild in the streets. And I want you to stay healthy. So I hope that you feel a little loved, a little support, a little encouraged, prayed for, but welcome. And I am just so glad that you're here. I am actually really glad to be here this week. I wasn't sure if I was going to be recording, but I have decided I'm going to go ahead and push through. It is Thursday, July 28th at 9:48 p.m. And I cannot believe that we are at the cusp of the end of the month, and August will be here Monday. And so I was just like, okay, I really want to make sure that I end out July right. And I almost was deterred. I'm not even going to pretend, because the panini got me, y'all. The panini actually got my entire family. So last week, I spent that week taking care of sick people, trying to dodge the panini, then getting sick and working, and child, I'm just overwhelmed. So I did not think that I was going to be able to pull it together, but today I'm actually starting to feel a lot more like myself. So I said, you know what, we're just going to go ahead and do this, because I miss kind of potting. And like I said, I wanted to make sure that I ended out July on the right foot, because we've been having a lot of conversations this month about, just real conversations going back to everyone's journey and where they are and what they're doing. And along with that line, I said, I can't have real conversations with other people if I can't share a real conversation of myself that I'm having. Because I will tell you, in the midst of all of my craziness last week with the panini, I did come to some real thoughts and some real realizations. And I wanted to talk with you guys about it. Before we kind of dive into that, though, I do want to thank everyone for their support and encouragement of episode 117, the resilient educator. And I hope I'm saying that title correctly. And if not, believe me, it's Panini Mind, that I am having a hard time remembering everything, with Amber Mirren and Mirren Education. And I'm going to link it in the show notes just because that'd probably be the easiest way. But we had a beautiful conversation in reference to her journey as an educator and her passion for adults and for children, as well as her own journey to being able to find positivity, especially in moments of illness. Like I mentioned last week, it's amazing how sometimes, God gives you your greatest impartations in moments when you are still. And a lot of times, I hate to say it because of just the way that we have kind of conditioned ourselves to keep going. A lot of times those moments of stillness have to come when we are sat down. And nothing will sit you down faster, I'll be honest, than the panini or other illnesses. And so it's always good to me to remember those things that come into your mind at those points, because those points can be life-changing. And so I really was excited to share Amber's episode. Like I said, I will have it linked in the show notes, but last week I did. I had my own little panini epiphany, I guess we can say. And I wanted to share it with you guys because, again, like I said, it's about having real conversations. So winding my way into that, you guys have known for the past couple of months, and probably ever since I've started this podcast, that I am a very intentional person. I am definitely on a journey of growth. I am changing and evolving all the time. And one thing that I have changed and evolved, especially as I have gotten into this latter part of 2022, as we are now transitioning into these last few months, I have really been in this focus of embracing softness. And I talked a lot about my softness journey for June. I said that was Lady P's return to softness, because for me, it was just so important to tap more into my divine feminine and tap into the softness of me, because I am an alpha personality. I am a dominant person in my home and at work at times. And so I feel like it doesn't sometimes open me to be able to receive the type of love and care that I need. And so I've been on the softness journey and I've been reflecting and everything. And I'm still on the journey. And this month, it definitely came up again because, like I said, I was sick with the panini. My whole family was. And during that time, I became the cook, the cleaner, the nurse, the doctor, the chauffeur. I was doing all the things, working at the same time, trying to keep myself healthy. And I wasn't healthy. I was struggling, to just say the least. Like my body, I was in pain. I just had a lot of different things going on. And I just recognized in the midst of getting everything done, because things got done, I recognized in the midst of that was a moment for me to even lean further into my desire for softness and further into my feelings of making sure that I am aligned about what I need as I am moving forward in these next phase of my life, because I have totally understood now what I was missing. And one thing that I feel like I was missing is I need care. And it's funny because I asked a friend of mine a question. I asked him if, as you know, what is one thing that he's discovered about himself that he needs right now, from friends, from lovers, from families? What's one thing that he needs? And when I was asking him that, I was asking him, obviously, because I was just curious what his perspective was, because, we've reconnected as friends. So I just wanted to kind of get an idea of, where he is in his life journey now as a person. Because again, I as we're, becoming these intentional people, it is just very important for me in my life to surround myself with people who are in alignment of intention. So I just like to get to know where people are in their journey, because I want to understand their intention. But then at the same time, it gives me insight on how I can be a good support system or friend to you on your journey. So that's just as a side thing. But for myself, I'm asking the same question. And that when I answer that question, I have come to the point where I realize that the thing that I need from people is care. And I need care in the sense that I need people to understand that just because it looks so strong on the outside and you see things getting done does not mean that I don't need care. I need care. I need to be handled with care. I need to be shown care. Because a lot of times as dominant women, or people think you've got it all together. You don't need anything. The strong friend. I am typically the strong friend. And I'm not strong. I'm not. I'm not strong. And not many strong friends are really strong. We're strong because we have to, because that's what's required of us, but we are not strong. And last week, I was not strong. There were countless times where I cried. There were countless times where I asked God to help me. There were countless times where I asked God, I need support. I need encouragement. I can't do this alone, even though I'm doing it alone. And I just recognize more and more that, I need care. And there's nothing wrong with needing care. For a lot of us, we put up these barriers around acting like we need care because we don't want to be weak and we don't have time to focus on being as we perceive to be weak. So we just keep powering through, and which is what I do. When I am in the midst of something, all I could think of is I have to make sure that I take care of my family. So relating it back to this panini that went through my home, I had to focus on taking care of my family because, my mom is 75 years old and my younger sister, they're all I have in this space right here. And they are my hearts beating outside of my chest. So I have to make sure that they're there. So I'm pouring all of my love, all of my care, all of my energy into them. And at the same time, it's like, okay, well, who's going to pour into me? Because now I'm struggling. And now I need a little bit of a support. And then at the same time, I got to try to motivate me because I don't have in my mind the type of care that I need. And don't get me wrong, I have friends. I feel blessed. I have friends that I can go to. I have friends who reached out to me during the week to check in on me. And so that helped kind of keep me going. But for me, one of the things that I always have struggled with is how I compartmentalize my pains. I compartmentalize my traumas. And I've talked to you guys about that before. And that is a byproduct of trauma that I endured when my father passed away. But if I really think about it, that's just kind of been how I was also raised. I compartmentalize my feelings and emotions because it's easier to deal with things in little chunks, and then you deal with it, you put it in a way, and you move on and you move forward. So when I'm going through things, that means that it is very difficult for me sometimes to share what I'm going through because I'm just focused on trying to work through it. I don't really feel like I can come to talk about it all the time because my thought is if I'm talking about it too much, I'm giving too much energy into it in a negative vein possibly, and I don't want it to grow because again, with intention, you get scared that things are going to grow. But then you have to be careful of that because you don't want the byproduct to be that you're closed off and that people don't have the ability to understand where you're coming from or what you need. And you have to feel comfortable in being able to express those sides of yourself because one, you've built a good support system around you of people that you can go to who can receive you, who can accept that and understand and support you and encourage you. But at the same time, that you're confident enough in yourself to open up and to not be okay. Because again, you're that strong friend and you don't always, even as a strong friend, have to be okay. So I did get a chance to kind of talk to a few people about it. Luckily I have some friends who are just like, hey, how you doing? They check in on me. You have that friend who just checks in, like y'all are all real cool, but there's just, you get so busy, so caught up. They know that you have a lot going on. They have a lot going on sometimes, but it's just that one or two friends that just always knows when to hit you, like, okay, how you doing? Just want to call and check in just at that right moment in time. And I feel blessed. I had that in my life. So luckily I got a chance to say, sometimes during the course of the week, you know what? I'm not okay. I'm not okay. And I list out what's going on and get that support and that boost in my back, that care that I was talking about that I needed. I got that. And see, for me, that's a really big step. Because again, like I just said, I am one to compartmentalize things. And so being able just to have someone ask me how I feel and me be able to be completely honest about it, to me, that's an accomplishment. Like, I'm super excited about it. I know that probably sounds crazy to some of y'all, but that's growth. And so I like to always share that because I want to share that with some of you guys, because I know some of y'all struggle with that as well. Give yourself some success, some happiness, some love, some pride when you're able to actually share that with people, when you share that you're not okay. And I said, I'm not okay. And I honestly share exactly how I feel. When people ask me, how are you? I tell you the truth. I'm on the mend. I'm doing okay, or I'm doing great when I'm doing great, because I'm working on making sure that I am allowing myself to be open about my feelings, that I am allowing myself to, again, receive that care that I'm looking for. So kicking it back to, like I said, that care, that is a part of my soft life journey, because I am at that phase of my life where I want to be surrounded by people that hold space for me. Let me say that again. Excuse me about the sniffles too. I want to be surrounded by people in my life at this phase that hold space for me. You see, I think that's something that had to be repeated, because all of us are at these different phases of our lives, these different points, these different journeys. And to understand that you need people in your life that hold space for you totally flips on the ear a lot of the perceptions that many of us built relationships on. A lot of times we weren't building relationships on reciprocity when we were younger. And we weren't. I mean, I know for myself, if I think about it, I was more focused on, being around people who I liked, who I thought were cool, even if they didn't always treat me the way that I wanted to be treated, because I was like, well, they were cool. I felt comfortable. I wanted to be a part of their life. I wanted to be down with the clique. And I was willing to assimilate in, even though if I were to look back on it, I was in a situation that was emotionally bankrupt. And that is something that I have, thank God, grown from. But I know that there are a lot of people who still may be in those situations, because not everybody is in a position to be able to honestly say to someone, I am in a space of my life where it's really all about reciprocity, where I want to make sure that you can make space for me. And so when we talk about making space, and I really feel like I need to spend a moment here, it's not just about someone being able to spend time, because you're right, that is one aspect of making space, someone who can make time to sit and talk with you. But when I'm talking about someone making space for you, I'm talking about someone who is willing to listen and receive all of you, the good moments and the bad. Because sometimes you also do have those friends where you give them only the surface level aspects of yourself. The things that always look really, really good, or the things that you feel comfortable in sharing because you feel like they can receive that. And I'm doing the air quotes of receiving it. They can understand that they can make space, because some people aren't built to be able to hold space for people in those tough times. And I mean, we have to be honest about that. We have to know who we're dealing with. We have to know the people that are in our circle. Not everybody can hold space for you when things hit the wall. Because just some people get triggered. Some people have their own past. I mean, because remember, everyone is just operating from the places that they've gone through, the situations that they've seen, their life experiences. So not everyone is equipped because they haven't done, their own healing where they can hold space for you, because they're just trying to figure out how to hold space for themselves. But when you find people in your life that are able to hold space for you, these people are able to see you, like I said, the good and the bad. And they can bring you in and listen to you and let you, do what you need to do, let you get it out. But then they can turn it around and speak life into you, because they know that this is just a season, and that they are a part of your life, that square, as my friend likes to mention, the square, the core of your life. And they build you up and bring you back. Good, bad, right, wrong. It's reciprocal. And it's not always you coming to them or them coming to you. There is a natural balance. Because like we talked about earlier, there's always the strong friend. I'm just going to be honest. I'm always a strong friend. I am. I am always a strong friend. I am always the person that people talk to about things. And I feel blessed by that, because I know that is part of my spiritual gifting. I think I've told y'all before, but my spiritual gifting is the gift of exhortation. I can speak life into you, because I as an empath, as an exhorter, I see the good in people. I see it a lot of times before people see it in themselves. And so I want to encourage you, and I want to motivate you, because it makes me feel good. It gives that does. It really speaks to my heart when I see people understand how powerful, how blessed they really are. But at the same time, having that spiritual gifting, having that gift of speaking life, being an empath, that can also lead to sometimes a lot of one-sided relationships if I'm not cautious. Because sometimes you're speaking life into somebody else, but remember, reciprocity is that person needs to speak life into you, and they're not speaking life into you. And there's a lot of reasons why they're not speaking life into you, like I mentioned earlier, because I do compartmentalize my stuff sometimes. Maybe there's not room for that, because I'm not sharing enough of myself with that person for them to realize, what I'm going through, so that they can be that source, that resource that I need and speak life into me. Or then two, it just could be because they're just not capable. And I'll be honest, I've had a combination of both sets of people in my life, but I am very blessed to be at this phase of my life where I have worked very hard to ensure for myself that my energy and the people that I surround myself with are very aligned. And not in the sense that I'm looking for people to be just like me. Everybody, all of my friends are uniquely wonderful and beautiful, but they come from a place of reciprocity. They speak life into me just like I speak life into them. And it's a natural flow. And it was never one of those things where we just had to sit down and have a conversation. It was like, girl, I had to tell you, like, I need to make sure that you speak life into me. You need to speak life into me. And like, it wasn't one of those kind of moments. It's not like you got to sit people down and tell them exactly, how you need them to speak life into you. It's just a matter of, we grew together. Yeah. We grew together. We all are at these journeys of our lives where we are growing together. It's amazing to me how when you are in alignment in your life, how the right people will come in. And I've talked to you guys about that so many times, but I love to keep reminding you of it, because it's so key. And it doesn't mean that you cut everybody off. It doesn't mean that you don't have people in your life who are still on the journey. It just means that you are hyper vigilant, because you are aware of the peace that you have, how hard you have fought to get it, that you will cultivate and know the people in your life who you can go to, and your energy just naturally attracts each other. And then the reverse of that also is in effect, because when your energy is so strong, when your resolve is so strong, if the people who aren't in alignment with you, they will be blinded by that energy probably, or turned off by it, and they're just going to naturally put some space in it. The key to us as those people who are typically the empaths and all those things, we just have to stop pulling these people back into our lives. Yeah. It's really that simple. We just have to stop pulling these people back in, because a lot of times we want to pull them back in because we want to know, we believe that there is something inside of us that can help them. Or we just don't want to let go of an old relationship because it's like, well, they could change. And you're right, they may change, but they may not change on your timing. They're going to change when it's their timing. And we have to make sure that we don't allow our ego to get in the way of their growth, or in our growth, because our ego is telling us we need them, that we can help them, that we can do all these things for them, when we have to really understand that people's journey is for them. And my journey is for me, and your journey is for you, and we have to focus on our journey and stop trying to fix everybody and focus on fixing ourselves. But that's a whole nother conversation and word. But back to, like I said, for the sake of this, for this conversation about care, it ties right into it, because as I mentioned, I fought really hard to get to this point that I'm at in my life. And for me to be at such at peace. So I know that when I say I need care, I need support, I need encouragement, I need love in all aspects of my life, be it from friendships to romantic relationships. I do. I want people to come in and show me care, because if you get me, believe me, I'm going to have your back through and through. Like, there's no question about it. I want you to win more than you will ever know. And I'm going to support and encourage you. It's just now opening myself up to have that in return. And that's the feeling that I want for you. And that's the feeling that I want for me. So it's taking a step back and realizing that I need care. And so knowing that I need care, it's like now I am positioning myself to be a lot more honest about my emotions. Like I said, telling people when I'm not okay. And realizing that not everybody in my life may be able to hold space for that, for that moment, for those times when I feel that way. And that's okay, because the people who are supposed to hold space for me and love on me and support and encourage me will do that. And the people that can't, I'm not mad at them. It just may mean that, again, their journey is such that they have to keep going to heal before they can be comfortable being able to acknowledge what I may need or what they may need. So that's something totally different, but it doesn't stop me from realizing what I need. And it doesn't stop me from verbalizing it. And that's why I'm sharing this with you guys, because I want you to get to that point to think about that question that I asked. Think about that thing, that one thing that you have decided that you need in your life, from friends, from lovers, from family. What is it? And define it for yourself. Take that moment. You don't have to wait until you get sat down by the panini or any other situations. Start to think about that right now. I mean, we are about to go into August in 2022. My goodness, it's like the year has flown by. And next thing you know, we'll probably be talking and it'll be Thanksgiving and Christmas, and we'll be like, wow, we're about to head into 2023. Time is not slowing down. Life is not slowing down. And so now is a time where we have to look at the things that we need. We have to ask ourselves the critical questions so that we can live the life that we desire and start doing the work to get there. And don't get me wrong, I'm sitting here, excuse me, my sniffles, sitting here, hopefully giving you guys a little bit of insight into what I'm feeling, but I hope it's inspiring you to think about what you want to feel. Because again, this is your life, your journey. And the Well Done Life it's a safe space, but it's about living your life so well that on the day of your death, when you are standing before God and he is looking at your life in the ledger, he will look close the book and say, well done, because you lived fully and wholly in the best way that worked purposely for you. So you have to make sure that you are doing that. You have to be proactive about it. You have to talk to yourself about it. You've got to meditate on it. You got to cultivate the content around it for it. You got to cultivate the people who are around you for it. And it's not easy. It's not. And sometimes it can be disappointing, but it's so worth it because you're worth it. Your peace of mind is worth it. Your next level is worth it. You never know what that answer, what starting that journey can lead you to. So I want you to take that journey because, like I said, I'm sitting here now in this phase of my life in my 49th year, about to be 50 in a few months, sitting here thinking about, yes, I want care because I'm at that phase of my life where, I want softness. I'm not going to pretend. I want care. I want support. I want encouragement. I want love. And I need that from my friends. I need that from lovers. I need that from my family. Like, I am not always built to be the bearer of everything. I am built also to be poured into, supported, encouraged, and loved. And I'm not expecting people to be mind readers about what I need. I'm going to be upfront about what I need and what I desire because I know that I can give the exact same back in return. You have to have that type of conviction about yourself, about your journey, about where you are and what you want in your life. And you have to go out there and you got to make it happen because time is of the essence. And there is no time like the present to live your best life possible. So I hope that you will take this conversation as a catalyst to help you start to lay the foundation for you living your best life, your well done life possible. And I hope you figure out what you need. Because, like I said, for me, it's about care. It's about softness. And it's also about realizing that I shouldn't need moments to be sick, to have epiphanies when I'm struggling and overwhelmed and crying and in pain. I need to make sure that I constantly stay in tune with myself so that I am continuously evolving and growing. Don't get comfortable with yourself. We've talked about cycles of mediocrity, and it is very easy with distraction points of work and life to get into that. Stay vigilant about you. You can be vigilant about everybody else, but if you can be that vigilant about everybody else, be super vigilant about yourself because it's easy to slip in. And I want you to, kind of look at this as like a cautionary tale, even though for me, I don't really feel bad about it. I'm glad that it actually happened. I'm glad that I had these reminders because I needed it. I needed it just to kind of help keep those batteries in my back to remind me of how far I've come and how I am never going back to being the person that I was and that I deserve the best. And if I deserve care, I need to accept that, acknowledge it, exude it. And the universe, God, the ancestors will come and give me exactly what I am asking for because that is what I need. And I have enough faith in my discernment to trust that I will let the right people into my life who will be able to provide that care for me. See, you have to have that. You have to have those type of feelings about it. And like I said, I'm sitting here talking to you guys about it. Believe me, this is encouraging me just at the same time that I hopefully am encouraging you. But I just want to make sure that while we still have time, while we are still in this moment where we are about to end and wrap up July, as we are in the 7th month of the year, before we start to transition into these latter few months of the year, if it's something still on your heart that you still have to kind of work through and grow and develop, now's the time. Don't wait for things to happen. Make the time, be intentional about you, and go on out here and do it. So that is my journey through the panini and care and just figuring out that I need to make sure that I am upfront and honest about what I need in my real conversation for myself to wrap up July. I am very excited about August. I have something special in the works, and it's a very cool collaboration. I'm not going to tell you too much. By the time you guys listen to this episode, which will go live on Sunday, next week we'll probably start to have more details about it, but it is going to be something different. Some good faces, some new faces, some old faces, some great topics. I am very excited about this series that my friend Chrissy Diaz and I are putting together for you guys, and we got some stuff. It's time for some, like I said, the conversations are continuing, especially as we are starting to round into this last few months of the year. It's time for us to continue to break down some walls and to continue our elevation and growth. So I'm just really excited. But I promise next week I probably will have more details. I think the Panini, or not I think, I know the Panini kind of put me a little bit behind schedule because like this is like really literally the first time that I have been able to sit down and like concentrate enough to feel comfortable to pod and to talk to you guys. And I apologize if I sound nasally. I'm still congested, but I hope that this comes across really strong. I hope you guys felt the message. I hope you guys know how much I love you guys and how I am just so encouraged to see us continue to grow and elevate. We got some great stuff coming. We are going to end July here. And I just want to continue to thank you for your support and your prayers and your positivity. We're going to bring some good things coming for August and great things going into September. Next week, I'll probably have more details about that. I will make sure I have Amber's episode linked in the show notes. And if you have any questions or concerns, y'all know where you can hit me, right? Like I am on Instagram at the Well Done Life Podcast, as well as you can also tap me at Pamela L. Davis on Instagram. You can reach me at I am Pamela L. Davis on Twitter. Email me at thewelldonelife@gmail.com. And that also reminded me the website is live. So I am going to make sure I kick that off next week as well. Wow, we have a lot of stuff going on, y'all. The website, everything is coming together. Whew. August is going to be amazing. Let me just put it that way. And I hope that you will stick along for the ride. But thank you guys. I hope you have an amazing rest of the week. And I will talk to you soon. Take care of yourselves and each other. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.